Hi, everybody. Welcome to The New Normal. I'm your host, Lisa Davis, aka Like Quinn Lisa, and today is an exciting day. There's so much happening in our country and around the world. I wanted to get Johnny Litecoin on here, get his thoughts on it. So we'll be right back with the one and only Johnny Litecoin right after this. Give us a like, share the video. Gives you just a second to do that, and then pop back in the live chat with all the fam right after this. Hey, Johnny, how's it going out there on the East Coast?
Good. Let's hope my internet stays in.
So I think it was Gloria. Somebody in the chat told us a couple days ago that there was like a big plasma like bloom or something that actually didn't go out, but it kind of imploded on the sun. And that could be affecting people's Wi-Fi and GPS and stuff. But of course, there was also the mother of all bombs, the Moab data breach. I don't know if you had heard about that, Johnny, that affected Dropbox, Twitter, LinkedIn. It's like the largest data breach ever, which a few years ago, I think even before the great infection, we were all been waiting for like what's going to be the reason they release the CBDC, or what's going to be the reason that they give for don't worry, we're from the government, we're here to help to save you. And it could be a blackout. People have been talking about blackouts for different reasons. The 17th letter, of course, alluded to a blackout. So, at this point, like, I can't tell what's a good guy op and a bad guy op. I'm just trying to hold it all kind of really lightly, but we are seeing a lot of stuff about the children and the sex trafficking coming out. We're looking at the largest sex trafficking event every year is coming up, and I kind of think if they can do anything to put the brakes on before that. They did a lot around that Indianapolis, that F1 race, not Indianapolis, I'm sorry, the F1 race that they held in Vegas, and they busted a lot of people there. So I don't know if they'll hold like a big bust at the Super Bowl, or if they will just stop the Super Bowl from happening this year. But apparently that's on like February 11th, which has some weird numbers around it. It's like so February 11th would be like 2/2/2/2/3. I don't know. I know that's
I feel like the Super Bowl's a tool for distraction. That's the only reason why I wouldn't think they'd stop the Super Bowl. If anything, they'd use that to manipulate. Think about the mass manipulation they could do during the Super Bowl. However, even the commercials, how everyone watches the commercials so close. The halftime show.
Let me show you this quick video that Charlie sent me. Let me see if I can find it. So Chuck Grassley just released a alert to FBI for evidence of human trafficking and calls for immediate action to locate and rescue migrant children, which you guys know we've been saying that, how they say that nothing can stop what is coming. And I was saying, oh my gosh, Trump's rallies spelled that out, but that also could be the national whatever for search for women, infant, and children, or indigenous women, infant, and children. So that was just announced. We also had the Casey alert, which is a like an Amber Alert, but it's for indigenous people in Oklahoma, announced. Then there's this. Oh, I'm not sharing. I'm sorry. Hold on, guys. Let me see if it'll. Oh, I don't know how to make this share.
And 49ers are
Okay, here we go.
You guys know what time it is. So in the first 4 parts, I showed you guys how the NFL and sports altogether could be rigged. Now, I showed you guys before that the Ravens and 49ers are scripted to be in the Super Bowl, the 2 top seeds playing on February 11th. 2-1-1. But at this point, you guys, I don't care who goes to the Super Bowl. It's one big energy harvesting ritual anyways. Because if you take the word Super Bowl, it really spells superb owl. The owl is a symbol of the Freemasons and Illuminati who pretty much pre-plan all major events. I guess that big owl that they worship at the Bohemian Grove means something, doesn't it? And if it's not pre-planned, then tell me why the Weather Channel posted this last week saying the Ravens and the 49ers are going to match up on February 11th. But wait a minute, I feel like this happened before. That's because it did. 10 years ago at Super Bowl 47, the Ravens and 49ers
47.
went to the Super Bowl. But not only that, they
Who's
had
gonna
a
be
blackout
47?
after halftime for 33 minutes, which they coined the Blackout Bowl. And I told you guys in my Mountain Dew video that a blackout could be coming, so this could be a foreshadow of things to come. A blackout for 33 minutes. Isn't that the highest degree of a Mason? Interesting. And if none of this convinces you in the slight, just take a look at the new Super Bowl ad with Gronkowski and Lynch. Do you guys see that confetti? You can't make this up. Now, whether these 2 teams go to the Super Bowl or not, don't know. I don't care. But what do you guys think?
So I don't know about who's going to the Super Bowl or whatever, but all those numbers and all that other stuff, and then all of this coming out. There was also right after Grassley posted the thing about the missing children, the migrant missing children, there was an announcement that not Ed McMahon, what's the guy in the WWE? McMahon?
Vince McMahon, is that it?
Yeah, he's been accused of sex trafficking.
Really?
Yeah. So there's like some, I mean, huge stuff coming out, like minute by minute.
So wait, go back to this guy that on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
What was he saying, that the halftime show is going to be a blackout?
He said it could be because when it was that show 10 years ago at the 47th, which who would be the 47th president, which I don't think we're going to see that, but anyway, would be Trump. So I think that's interesting. There's so much stuff here that's like mirroring or hinting or rhyming or whatever. But he said there was a 33-minute blackout. And so is that hinting or suggesting?
I mean, I feel like it's fixed for sure. Well, it's funny. The only 2 sports that are registered as entertainment is wrestling, which we all know wrestling's known that it's fake. Now,
Right.
People are good athletes, they're in good shape. You have to still, but it's scripted, it's fake. Everyone knows that. Football is also that's registered as entertainment, professional entertainment. No other sports are. Baseball's not, basketball's not. Interesting. Why is football registered as entertainment? Look at the money in football.
Mm-hmm.
There's a staggering amount of money wagered on football that goes into the games. I mean, it's just such a moneymaker.
That's interesting if you go down the rabbit hole of the money with that. So recently they changed the laws and now allow there were some cases that now allow, gosh, who was I talking to about this? That now allow the kids in college to be paid for their sports, right, or whatever.
Yeah. They were never allowed to be paid in the past.
Is that because that is also rigged and entertainment?
I don't think college football is.
Oh, hell yes, it is. Are you kidding me?
So I think the pros is rigged.
It's all rigged.
I don't know. You think that even the college is rigged?
Sure it is. I mean, not that there's not amazing athletes in there, but you don't think there's backdoor deals? There's so much money involved in that with the gambling and all of that.
There
There's
is.
also okay, so then one of the things I posted on Twitter, this guy got banned for life. And he said, there's only been I think it's 4 people banned for life from gambling. Hold on, I'm going to show you this. I didn't plan on going down this rabbit hole, but why not? Why not?
Well, Pete Rose wasn't he was banned from baseball for life for gambling.
Right. Okay. This guy, can you guys see this?
Definitely would have caught me by now. I do have a plan that could bring every casino to their knees, and I may pull the trigger on this and
Notice
watch
his
these
Jewish star?
casinos burn.
This is Mickey, a high-stakes gambler who was treated like royalty by Las Vegas casinos, hoping he would lose everything gambling. But after he won $11.5 million in one night, he was banned for life.
How many people are banned from casinos like you?
There's only been 4 in history. If the game's supposed to be 50-50, every player should win half the time and lose half the time. But in real life, almost every person who plays Baccarat loses. How are they all lifetime losers in a game that should always make them break even? Because the house is rigged.
How is the house rigged?
I don't want to share that information.
Okay.
They're evil, sinful, dark places that are only built to destroy people in their lives. Absolutely nobody should gamble.
Best gambler in the world. I learned a lot from this man. More than a mentor, he's more than a gambler. He's the truth.
After telling me how he's won money for multiple celebrities, I wanted to put him to the test.
500 bones. How much can we turn this into?
0 or it's going to be 2,500?
Tap here to see how much money we made.
So, you know what is interesting? When I went to Vegas, I went to I usually stay in Trump Tower, try to. There's no casino in Trump Tower. One of the maybe the only hotel. There's no casino in Trump Tower.
Interesting. Wow.
Why would that be? Trump's a businessman.
Why is there no casino?
No casinos. Not a slot machine. Nothing.
Could he not get a gaming license potentially? Was that an issue?
Or is it crooked?
I mean, well, gambling's crooked. My God, that's
I don't know. That just made me think of that.
without a doubt.
Or is he not part of the Zionist club?
Without a doubt, casino games are rigged. That's known.
Do you have to be part of the club to make money from that?
You probably do. So Trump owned casinos in Atlantic City originally.
Okay,
But-
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He
That's
owned
how
hotels there. I didn't know that he owned casinos there.
he did. He did, and that was back in the 80s, and then he sold them. I don't know if he still. I don't think he still owns a casino in Atlantic City.
And maybe that was before he got saved or whatever. I don't know. It's just very, very curious, very, very strange thing there. Not the rabbit hole I was planning on going down. Anyway, I digress.
Stay away from the casino, though. I mean, that's just good advice. Like, put your money into Litecoin or
Yes, put your
Or-
money into hard assets, stay out of the vampire system, as Westwood says. But
My
I thought
God.
that kid saying that only 4 people have ever been banned for life. And he was just being real factual. He's like, look, Baccarat is a game that you have a 50-50 chance. Why is it that so many people lose then? That's just facts. That's just numbers. That's just the math.
It's rigged. I mean, even the sports gambling apps, if you win too much, you're not allowed to win. If you win too much, they shut down your account and they say you're gambling and you're betting in the pattern of a professional gambler, and they shut down your account. So you have to be careful with even in that. I know people that were professional gamblers and their accounts get closed. I said, why? And they said, because you can't win. They said, if you win too much and they don't want your action, they shut your account down.
Crazy.
That's why. So basically football, everybody that bets football loses. There's no chance of win. You can win here and there, but by and large, if you bet for a whole football season, you're going to come out a loser. That's why the apps, the bookmakers, all that stuff love football, because it's a winner. It's a windfall for them. Other sports, not so much. But football, the house always wins. The gambler always loses over time. Again, they might win a game here and there, but it's not. But yeah, take your, even buying lottery tickets, the casino. I mean, unless you just look at it as pure fun. Like, some people love it. They say, I don't want to knock people that, hey, you like going to the casino.
Right. If they see it as a game, like, I'm paying 25 cents for my time to spend playing this game and you don't anticipate getting it back.
Some people I know that,
enjoy it.
they go to the casino. It's entertainment for them. It's a night out. They go see a show. They go to dinner. They gamble a little bit. They bring a few $100s and they say, I'm expecting to lose it.
Mm-hmm.
I got no problem with that personally. It's kind of like going anywhere. You're going to see a show. Basically, you're going to entertain yourself. But I know a lot of people play the lotto week in and week out. Now, obviously, they're doing that that's not entertainment. They're doing that with the anticipation of winning the lottery, winning the lotto. I mean, you're not going to win. I mean, granted, some people win, but the odds are stacked against you. Mathematically, you're a loser if you do that. Put your money into crypto. But buy Litecoin. I mean, Litecoin's super undervalued. I mean, Litecoin's at $65 right now. There's a way better shot we're going to see $1,000 Litecoin than you're going to win the lottery. I mean, That's probably, Litecoin hitting $1,000 at some point in the next, even give it the next 5 years. That's probably more than a 50% chance. So they have more than a 50% chance of making 15 or 20 times on your money. Just do that. Put money in over time. You know what I mean? For all the, there's people I know that they play $50 a week on the lottery. That's $2,600 a year. You buy $2,600 worth of Litecoin, and it goes to $1,000 a coin. Now you got $40,000. I mean, you're much better off doing that.
much better off doing that. There are some. Well, I don't know if we want to go straight Trump Civil War and. Yes, Trump is encouraging states to stand with Texas. And I guess 17 states have made statements and made commitments to send their state guards. I would say National Guard, but that's all word salad at this point, to defend the Texas border after the Supreme Court. I don't know if do you know about all this? So the Supreme Court made an unconstitutional ruling that didn't allow for the stay. So Texas said, please let us have Fifth Circuit Court, please give us a stay until you can hear, and do not let Biden remove our razor wire from the border. And
I did see that. And didn't Amy Coney
Barrett, she was one of the five. So it was a vote of 5 versus 4, and 5 of the judges would not allow them a stay and allowed the federal government to come in and take Texas property, state property, and remove it before they're heard by the Fifth Circuit. So there's still another hearing incoming. And so what's really interesting is the letter that Governor Abbott released mentioned specifically we're being invaded, that because basically Biden is because the decision of the Supreme Court is not supporting the Constitution, not supporting the state's rights to decide in the state property, and they are and letting the federal government come in and make a decision at a state level And they're supporting illegal immigration, allowing illegal immigration. So they, oh gosh, it's so crazy. Like it is so backwards right now.
I feel like with all that though, so here's the problem with the border, all that stuff, right?
Let me show you the
Because
letter.
we don't have sound money. If we had it, if our currency was backed by silver or gold, and we didn't have all these programs and big government, and we weren't a welfare state,
Right.
nobody, it would just
they
naturally, people wouldn't we wouldn't even need a border.
Right.
We wouldn't need anything.
Right. Because then what are they coming for? They have nothing to come for.
I don't blame
No handouts.
I don't blame the people at all that are trying to get here at all. I blame our government. It's the globalist progressive movement. It's the bad guys. It's the WEF. It's those people's fault. It's the fault, the deep, all this stuff. Why do we have unsound money? If we had sound money fixes everything. Sound money fixes wars. You can't invade.
Because then we have free markets too, because then we welcome people that want to come into our community and work hard, because then the community is stronger together. It's like the crypto thing. Like when I understood that about crypto, I was like, oh, because I've been in nonprofit world forever. And people think, oh, you're in nonprofit world, everybody must get along. And it's so, wonderful over there. Everybody's, eating rainbows and pooping butterflies. And I'm like, oh no, we're all fighting over here for the same dollars. And so that's where this counterfeiting of human energy, this dirty fiat that counterfeits human energy, that makes us all slaves, is so corrupt and bad. And like you're saying, when you have hard asset, good, pure money, good money, then that does fix everything. Then come on in, work hard just like everyone else, because we don't have a middleman who's stealing our energy and our labor.
I mean, if we had sound money,
yeah,
not a dollar would have went to Ukraine.
But think about the timing of all of this. So if this is happening and Texas has the Texit, they are already working on their own digital gold and silver-backed digital currency.
Yep.
During the Great Infection, a lot of states filled up their state treasuries with gold and silver. I know Governor Stitt has been saying over and over again that our state treasury has the best savings account that we've had, maybe ever, but in a really long time. So we're positioned really well right now. We are one of the 17 states standing with Texas, that if Texas goes back, then one of the things Sean taught me, which we're going to have Alpha Warrior join us tomorrow. And he had this dream. Well, I'll get into it with him. It's just really exciting. There's all this stuff happening. Like we are undoing some of the wrongs that were done to America in the founding of America that we've been lied to about. Like Cinco de Mayo is not what you think de Mayo. Like it was a lie. The story of that. It was actually France was coming over to help fight with the Confederacy, and they were stopped at the Alamo. And so maybe the Confederacy would have won if they hadn't been stopped. And now that may change now. Like Texas may be like, look, we're done with this tyrannical action of Biden coming in and throwing off our border, our boundaries. And, then we're coming into tax season. And so maybe people will take actions in peaceful ways to protest that. As far as federal things that don't support them, why should you support something that's not protecting you? I don't know. There's just a lot there to unpack. This was where Wall Street Silver looked up. This was so in Governor Abbott's letter, he specifically said that they were being invaded. This is an invasion. And so in this section, Article 1, Section 3, Clause 3, and Governor Abbott cited this in his statement because it says no state without the consent of Congress lay any duty of tonnage, keep troops, ships, or war in of war in time of peace, enter any agreement or compact with any other state or with a foreign power, or engage in war unless actually invaded or such imminent danger as will not admit of delay. And so that's where he made the statement.
And if we had sound money, the only wars that anybody would agree to is if we were invaded. But the thing is, some people say, "Oh, we're being invaded on the southern border." If we had sound money and there wasn't all these government programs, that's what people are coming here for. Obviously, America is the biggest welfare state out there,
right?
So that's why, obviously, if there was weren't giving all these handouts, like you said, if nobody would have a problem with anybody coming here. It's, we have sound money. There's no handouts. You come here, it's you're helping everybody out by coming here because you're contributing in a positive way to what's going on. We'd welcome everybody if we had sound currency. That's how they manipulate everything. They can fund whatever wars they want, whatever countries they want, fund Ukraine, fund this country, fund this program. Oh, the great infection hits. We're going to give out stimulus checks. We're going to give unemployment enhanced. We're going to do, it never stops. And look at, in the end of the day, all they do is rob hardworking Americans of their time, their money, their everything, their energy. Look at, people value sending their kid to college. Well, that's outpaced the rate of inflation 5-1 since 1971.
Yeah.
What about owning a home? That's supposed to be the American dream. Home ownership. Well, right now, owning a home, if you think about it, it's kind of stupid. Unless if you buy right now and it's such an inflated market, that also outpaced the rate of inflation 5-1. Because again, too much, everything the government gets involved in outpaces the rate of inflation.
And the way they have it set up, even when you own your home, if you don't continue to pay your taxes like a good little slave, they can come take it. If you own $1,000 in back taxes, which it would be more than that by the time they took it, I guess, whatever, $10,000 in back taxes, they can come and do a sheriff's sale and take your home that could be worth $500,000.
Sure.
That it doesn't make sense, but they've rigged the system to be that they own everything and you're not happy. And that's what we have to throw off and say no and enough and get educated about. And so I don't know. I'm just excited because I feel like this is a point, a tipping point of action, where they're like, oh, no, you've pushed too far. So I really think that this is something where the states are standing with the people of Texas, that America is coming together and see where, where the tyranny really is and who's really looking out. It's insane. We had this just in my own town recently where a bunch of us went to a city council meeting, and the city council people were like sitting up there talking complete insanity. They were like, well, we went to this young entrepreneurs meeting or something, and all these people want to live here. And so we really think that we should take all these efforts and do all these things to lower the property values of your homes so that, because we heard all the concerns of these people that don't live here. And I was like, what? So we pay you, you were elected by all of us, and you went and asked a bunch of people who don't live here what their opinion is about our property.
lower our property values. I mean, it's sick.
It's insane. It's completely insane. But they have, once again, but they're part of this. If you do the research, and my friend did, and he's like, look at his profile, look at his information on LinkedIn, and they're part of this 2030, 2050 agenda. And they've infiltrated to, and that's why we all have to get involved. We have to get involved on our, city, county, like Westwood says, become the sheriff, find and meet the sheriff. We all have to get involved. We all have to do our part, and we all have to be talking about it.
Yeah, we got to, really you could get involved at the local level.
Mm-hmm.
But I just, that's where we have the most impact is locally. We always say, get to know your neighbors, get to know your community. We've put too much emphasis on the federal government.
Yes.
And that's all part of the manipulation, even in society and pop culture. The feds are going to get you. The feds, and it's just like,
yeah. Why do you do it? Because they said so. Because and then
I was going to say, even like, if there's like a federal case against you, they have like a 98% like win rate or something like that. And it's like,
well, most of them settle because they have in-house lawyers and they just beat you down. Like Dr. McDaniel was telling me, one of the ways they beat him down was that they had in-house counsel. And so just as he would be winning, they would change offices. So he would have, because when he would be winning, they have in-house counsel. So they're like new, out of college, whatever, but he had better counsel, but his was more expensive. But so they'd be losing. So they would change offices. So he'd have to refile and have all these new fees and whatever. So they financially broke him.
Yeah.
To the point, and then they'd go again, and then they'd start losing again, and then they would change offices and refile, and every time. So they have all these strategies to financially break you. That's what they did to Reggie. That's what they did to library. I mean, if you look across the board, they have all the tools.
Look at what we were founded on. I mean, no taxation without representation. And that, if you go back to that, I mean, that's crazy how there was a revolution in this country. That's how America was founded, on no tax. And that's what we rebelled against, and no taxation without representation, all this stuff. And now to the point where we're just accepted the federal government's so much more powerful than the state, than local. It's supposed to be kind of correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't it supposed to originally be an even balance of power? It was state, judicial, and then executive, I think, or
well,
I think within that wasn't even federal. It was executive would be like the president, correct?
Right.
State,
right. Executive, judicial, and then the Congress. So those were the legislative. So those are the three branches of government that are supposed to be, but that's at a federal level. I guess that would be at a state level too. But those are the three branches of government. But they're supposed to be there to serve the people, not to lord over the people.
Lord over the people.
And that's what's been so flipped on its head.
It's just sickening where we've got to, how big the federal government gets. I mean, like, I think having a strong military school, like that's, I'm pro-military and all that. Especially we're in too deep not to have a good military, but at the same point in time, all this other stuff, do we need it? Like, what is it? Or is it just hindering besides for the military?
Well, and do we need to be the military of the world? Like, is there any other government?
Do we need to be the world police?
Right, the world police, because is there any other military that has bases all over the world?
I mean, we should be about defending American soil.
Yeah.
You know, and that's my thing is, you know, I'm all about helping America.
Mhm.
And that's I feel like in America, we forget about our own. It's like, help all these other countries. And even when people like, they try to get like donate money and like, you know, a lot of times outside of stores, I always talk to everybody just because they're people. So I give them the respect. I talk to them. Most of this time, it's young people in the early mid-20s. They're inexperienced, so I give them a lot of credit. It takes a lot to go up to people and talk to them. They're like, "You want to donate money to this?" I listen to them. I just say no. You know, I politely decline, and they say, "Why?" I say, because until every American child has food in their mouth and is taken care of, and until we take care of our own first, I don't want to start looking outside of the U.S. I'm not against the other countries at all, but I'm just more, we need to help our own first, help America. And I think that's where we're talking about a little bit on that Twitter Spaces on Friday.
Yeah.
How even in America we divide it. What kind of American are you? What's your background? It's like, no, we're all Americans here. If you're here, like we're all Americans, right? So let's help out every American.
That I'm glad you brought that up. That really played into that was how they do divide us. Is, I mean, that's even the right and the left, and the, you know, you can vote as long as you pick, you know, a black or white car, or you can vote as long as you pick, you know, the right or left side of the plate.
Yeah,
but it's still the same bird, or whatever the saying is, you know.
Sure.
And that's where, like, when we there's a picture of a Native American, and he's standing there and he's like, this was America before they fooled you, or something like that. And that's what, when Trump says USMCA and make America great again, I think that's what he's trying to tell us, is like, we're going to go back to what we should be living is, like, what gives more accountability is local, you know, like nation states, like kind of like our states are nation states, so we can hold people accountable. But then America is the whole continent of North America.
They want us divided. If you think about it, like, people like, what do you watch, Fox News or CNN?
Right.
It's like, it's the same thing. It's just one's giving certain audience their pitch on it with the same agenda as the other side, who's giving their audience their pitch on it with the same agenda as the other side. So they all have the same agenda. It's all controlled by the same people. It's all the bad guys. It's all part of the Mockingbird media.
Right.
It's just that they're like, okay, let's keep everyone divided. All right, now we got half the people on this side, half the people on that side. Good. Let's throw issues out there to make them hate each other even more. Now let's manipulate them with the media, and now they know exactly how to manipulate you. Oh, let's tell the people that watch CNN this. Let's tell them.
And they lied to the Indian tribes and broke treaties with them, just like they lied to every American since then. Like, nothing has changed. So to say that one person is more or less American because, you know, I mean, it's just like saying, like, well, my DNA is connected to a caveman, so I'm more human than another person. Like, the whole conversation was just went idiotic. But yeah, I mean, and you choose, and then are you saying that people that leave their countries, that like Enos Cantor and that Dr. Dr. Fu, that they were here and they've had like their lives threatened, their families' lives threatened, they've had to go you know, in protective custody, they've lost their jobs and their contracts, business contracts, all of that. I think about, you know, Alpha Warrior went to J6 to try to stand up for what he thought was right, and he got swatted by the FBI and then lost his job. And we'll tell that story tomorrow. I'll let him tell that story tomorrow. But it's pretty incredible to say that, like, oh, well, you know, they're not as American as somebody because their DNA or something, that's just crap.
Doesn't make
You
sense.
choose you're American because of your beliefs and how you treat others, not your DNA. And especially like as a adoptive mom, like I understand like DNA doesn't make family. If it did, then you'd be marrying your brothers and sisters, people. Like that's creepy. So think about that one. Like don't get all hung up on the DNA thing. Like it's just weird. But yeah, it's time to come together, not let them continue to push us apart. And to choose to be an American and be proud, and and others can be proud of their countries, and I think that's beautiful. One doesn't have to be less, somebody else doesn't have to be less than for you to love your country. I'm not a huge fan of Chelsea Handler, but I heard her on an interview one time that she said, I don't have to blow out someone else's candle to make my candle shine brightly. And I try to think about that. We all have that thing in us that makes us great Americans, and together we can all make America great
Yeah.
by being our best together. So
I like that, Lisa.
yeah. So that's what I hope for America,
Nice.
is that we all lift each other up.
That's a good hope for America.
Yeah. Yeah. Was there one other thing I wanted to mention? I know the Civil War was a big one. And the children I mentioned. That's pretty much the stuff I was most passionate about for today. I know there's so much other stuff going on, and you guys go follow Steve Narioff. He's digging up stuff on the ETH gate stuff. I haven't had a lot of time to get into that, but eventually I'm gonna ask him to come on and pick his brain about it. There's some weird stuff going on there. There's accusations of Vitalik deleting stuff, and I don't know how that's
I
going
got to look more into that ETHgate thing. I've been I got to do more research on that so I can have a good we can talk more objectively about it. So I have some and I know you sent me some videos about it. Maybe send me some more stuff to watch. So
I get like down a rabbit hole on something, and then I need like a file to put it in, but I'm very disorganized. And so then I'll like go, okay, wait. Like I sent Joe from Dragon Chain a bunch of stuff, and then he was like, hey, I want to talk to you about that. And I was like, so I had to go back to like my message with him to see what I was talking about with him. But I think I'm going to have him on because he used to work for the FBI and Disney, and he's got some really interesting information from the past and experience and stuff. So there's just some wild stuff in our history.
There is.
I think people would like to know. One of these days, we got to tell some old Johnny history stories when it's the right time.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
One of these days.
My archaic history.
Yeah. It's exciting, I mean, to think about what all this fight, because it's part of the fight for America and for Americans, and not just Americans, but for like freedom, for sound money and freedom and truth, and to think like sometimes there's so much done behind the scenes that so many people don't know about, and so to be able at one point to think that we can tell those stories, I mean, you've done some brave stuff.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
I have.
You have.
I have.
Oh, man.
All right, well, good. Always good seeing everybody out there.
Yes, thank you guys for all your
Great show,
comments.
you guys. Hopefully it's weather's nice this weekend. It's kind of warm in the Northeast right now, which is good.
Is it? It warmed up a little bit, huh?
Unseasonably warm. I mean, it was freezing. Now it was like rainy, but it was like at least in the 50s today, which is nice for us this time of year.
Interesting.
Let's hope it stays. I hate the cold.
I know. I'm so ready for the spring. Once I get past Christmas, I'm like, okay, done with that.
I used to be hot tub Johnny. Now I have a sauna. Now I'm sauna Johnny at my place.
You're having to get all the heat down to your bones. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh, crazy. I did hear there was some big, like a flood at a military base. I think it was off the coast. I don't remember which. I want to say it was Pacific Coast though. And I watched a video of it. Dang it, I can't remember where it was now. I probably posted in the Telegram. You guys, in the description, I've cut back way posting in the description. I'm trying out a new thing, trying to drive everybody to my website, and then also highlighting my guest each day. So there is just information. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and give the video a like. That's important, helps out the channel. And then go visit my website to find ways to connect with me and support my work. And then also you can find Johnny on Twitter at Johnny Litecoin. And you can always send him, tag him and ask him questions. He's got great information about Litecoin tech support. And that's where like I can really see the future of that. I watched an amazing video, an old one. So I play that McAfee video sometimes on outro where he did an interview with Dragon Chain, Joe from Dragon Chain, and he's like all pissed off at Americans. And he's like, come on, people, you are we the people. You are America. We are America. And it was so inspiring to me. So I went and watched the whole interview. Oh my gosh. He gets into like the problems with Bitcoin and even problems with Monero, not because of the coin Monero as much as once you have to work with an exchange that like really Litecoin does not have that issue because of how MWeb works in my mind. And of course, I'm not technical, but from what I understand, like I think MWeb fixed that and protects your privacy.
Because it's optional where Monero's everything's private. So then they can come in with a broad stroke brush and be like, we won't support privacy coins, but then Litecoin, they could say, well, we won't support MWeb, but we'll support Litecoin on chain. And then you could peg back in. My fear is just that maybe in the future, they might say, well, these coins came from MWeb, and now we see that there's no history on them, and then they can try to put.
So can they can tell when a coin has been on MWeb in the past?
They could see in the blockchain when they go to track where it came from. They could see. They can't see what happened in MWeb, but they can see that
they could tell that it was on it at one point.
Yeah, so that would be the only thing that I would see as in a world of extreme censorship that they could crack down on us for. But again, on its face, it solved the problem because the exchange, it's kind of a gray area. They don't have to support MWeb. They could just support regular Litecoin. You could peg back into the Litecoin regular blockchain, then transfer to that exchange.
Yeah.
We're just going to see how it plays out with, I guess ultimately the thing is, when you're going back into the vampire casino, they're going to make it harder and harder, which they've already done. They've made it harder and harder for us. So let's.
But then we go peer to peer. I mean,
let's try to go peer to peer. That's the way.
Is the way. I mean,
that's the way of the future. 100%.
Yeah. All right. 100%. And that takes local community. So let's go local, shop local. I bought a shirt off 84 million last night. It was super easy.
Kyle was in the chat before. Super nice, super good guy. So support him, support 84 million.
Yeah.
He's a really good member of the community. So lots of good people in the Litecoin community. So support him, peer to peer. Support our community because that's important.
Yep, that's how you do it, is have each other's back. And I appreciate all of you watching this and supporting us because that's how we do it. So thanks to all the community. All right, you guys, we'll see you tomorrow with Alpha Warrior and Clint Westwood. I'm just so excited about our community and all we do to support each other. So, and we're in this together and things are finally happening. It's moving. All right, take care, guys. Thanks, Johnny.
Later, guys.